welcome back. You are watching Daybreak. Let's get into our conversation, youth, politics, and women. Let me quickly introduce my guests. To my left, we have Sylvia Mulama, head of diaspora at ANC, and to my right, and then to my left, we have Gloria Oroba, who is the governance and policy analyst. Thank you, ladies, for coming in. We are waiting for one more. Hopefully, she joins us in time. But I want to kind of get your thoughts on the headlines this morning. One in particular on the nominations and this kind of window of reprieve that's been given to aspirants who don't win in the party nominations. There is fear that it could cause a bit of chaos in terms of people going to become independents and then run. So what do you make of this kind of reprieve that is being given? Let's start with you, Gloria.
I don't know. I feel like two types about it. It's more like the idea of having another option. I'm vying for Bobasi constituency. So to think that maybe in the event that I feel that maybe the party nominations, party primaries are actually not fair or free, you know, then you have the chance to say, I'll go. If you really believe that you actually have a chance, then you can go independent. But I also think that once you're committed to a party because you've joined it because of the ideologies, jumping ship would be that you actually were just in that party so that you can use it as an instrument to you know, get into office. So I don't know. I know a lot of aspirants are happy about it because before we had been informed that there would be no window and that, you know, once you're in a political party, this is it. So actually there were a lot of people considering to go it independent because, you know, party primaries can be tricky and there are a lot of dynamics. I mean, now the court ruled that it's not the membership, the registered members of the party who will be voting in the party primaries. It's actually now open for, you know, I can come and participate in the ODM party primaries and yet I'm not an ODM member. And that introduces a lot of dynamics, including the fact that your rival party could ensure that they vote for the weaker candidate, so that's so that you actually, you know, we as a party end up fielding a weak candidate so that they can, you know, they can win the election. So I think it's a good thing for now, maybe because a lot of youth will be participating in this general election, and I think if they feel that they won't be having free and fair party nominations, then they can run as independent.
Do you think this, Sylvia, will have parties behave a bit better? I mean, will they behave themselves? Because we've seen a lot of shambolic party primaries. I mean, that has just been status quo. Do you feel with this pressure that, hey, you could hemorrhage members as a result, or aspirants as a result of not doing this right, will it fix that problem at all?
Yeah, I think in a way it would a little bit. But, you know, we are becoming a nation of not following the rules. And it's tainting our image as a nation. And it's bringing distrust in our political process because all the rules that were set, not most of the rules that were set by IEBC and ORPP, none of them has been followed to the letter. And it's a bit frustrating that, you know, you are working with this one step ahead, one step backward, one step ahead, one step backward. So we're not really making progress in terms of our open elections and, you know, honesty around it and trust about our elections. And so when you now give all of us as aspirants, I'm vying for Westlands MP, and all of us have been preparing, knowing that you have to be in a political party on this date. And by this date, the independent candidates who have also been preparing themselves have been working hard, knowing that they're independent candidates. So you suddenly now give a window to somebody else to come and take their space, because then they are completely decided from the word go. So I think for the political parties, it will perhaps bring a little bit more discipline. If it does, sometimes it doesn't. But then on the other hand, it's going to cause havoc to those that have been preparing long term. So we are kind of still not stabilizing our political climate. It's every 5 years we have issues. Every 5 years we have issues to resolve. And it's not a good thing.
You know, I wonder, Gloria, who will be pained more, the aspirants or the political parties? Because, you know, the whole idea has been that you have a certain political party backing you, your chances of winning are probably higher. But if we go to the ballot, the real test will be there, you know, in terms of if you go independent, are you that popular without the political party backing that you can get through?
It depends actually with the region. Like from where I come from, I'm from Kisii County, and we are very pragmatic. As a matter of fact, the fact that ODM never had any members of parliament, or Jubilee had, I think, 2 in the last election, that should tell you that they vote for the person. They actually, I mean, it helps that you're in a popular political party, but still, Kisiis are very pragmatic to the sense that they would actually, you know, not use the political. So the dynamics in Kisii are different, and I assume it's from case to case in different places. But again, you go to some regions, for instance, in Mount Kenya, when Jubilee was the strong party, actually winning party primaries meant that you have won, you know, the general election. It was like, okay, it was a direct ticket.
Right.
So there are places where it was the party that was being voted for, not necessarily the individual. So I think these elections are different. People are being sensitized about the candidates that are actually fronting themselves. And I think that in 2022, in this year, I think we'll have very strange voting patterns. It will not be, you know, 6-piece suit, the way they say we are just voting for the party. It's not going to be necessarily about, oh, I'm coming from this region, because the electorate has been sensitized. So you even now when you look at, you know, the popular figures, radio personalities coming out, you know, the electorate is still asking, so what? So what, you're popular? What are you going to do? So I think the voting patterns this year, that will really change.
Do you think, what has caused that shift in terms of maybe more awareness among the electorate? Has it been civic education? People are tired?
I think, first of all, the idea of using parties, of having parties just for the sake of elections, electorate also understands that it's just a vehicle. I mean, look at what happened to Jubilee as a political party, and yet it was supposed to be a national party that should be, you know, should have stood the test of the test of time. So I think the electorate now understands that Chamani, you know, is just a vehicle. And that's why you see all these other smaller political parties actually, you know, getting the courage to field even presidential candidates, you know. If you go to for instance, in the Kamba community, all these, you know, Maendeleo Chap Chap and the smaller ones, Muungano Party and what, are actually coming out strong. And, you know, from what it looks like, if Kalonzo goes to Azimio, those smaller parties will actually feel, they'll end up winning all those national, you know, the MP seats, you know. So I think electorate just understands for now that a party is a vehicle. And what more can the party offer? So they're really looking. In fact, now they're checking, are you actually standing with the youth? You know, are you actually standing with women? So it's a little bit more than just standing somewhere and shouting, you know, I'm in UDA, you know. There has to be an understanding that, oh, okay, at least UDA, for instance, in Kisii, that's one party that had the courage to field a woman. You know, in Kisii, we've never had a woman MP, and we've never fielded one. So the electorate is they're sensitized and they're keen. So I think the voting patterns this time, as much as you have strong parties, it's really going to come down to, you know, what you are offering as a candidate.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Sylvia, do you feel that that is the case? You know, indeed, the electorate can independently choose based off of someone saying, I'll deliver, their track record, for instance, as opposed to the party or even personality attached to them. And we also know just the dynamics are very, very, very different for women and for youth when it comes to party primaries. But I mean, where do you kind of see the state right now?
Yeah, I think the Kenyan electorate has really come of age. They are aware, they are conscious, and a lot of them right now, particularly after these COVID effects, they are looking for performance-based elections. If you don't have a track record on your performance, they are simply going to vote you out. And so what, of course, we are expecting as aspirants is to have a free, proper, total free and fair elections when it comes to that. But when you look at the dynamics of where we've come from, it's always been based on the wave that, you know, which party are we going by, you know, vote the three-piece suit or vote the entire suit down. But now you come back to the Mama Mboga. She has not realized any improvement in her life for the past 5 years, and she's tired. You know, my constituents, when you walk around, they are actually receptive to women now.
Right.
Particularly in my Westlands constituency, they are all saying, let's try a woman this time. Because I think they've come to a conclusion that, you know what, so and so has been leading us, or we've had men in politics for a long time, but perhaps it's time to shift the dynamics and focus on another agenda and see what they can be able to bring on the table in terms of performance. So it's shifting, it's changing, and 2022, this year's elections, is going to be tumultuous. We're going to see a lot of changes, a lot of people are going to lose their seats, and we are going to see a lot more women come into political seats, elected, not just, nominated, and that's what most of us are, fighting for, right. That we want elective positions. And so when it comes to internal party politics, that's when now people are shortchanged. But with the ANC, which is my party, our party leader is actually very embracive to women. And so we are hoping that as many women as we have fielded in ANC, they are all going to have their fair chance to express their ability and, their ambience to the electorate. So it is moving forward, I want to say so. And I think it's a place, we've reached a place where now we can say that Kenyan elections is becoming more advanced, more open, and more receptive to women, and particularly the youth.
Yeah. I hear both of you, and you're painting a very hopeful picture, at least of what the party primaries will look like.